The Concept of Archetypes. Archetypes are patterns that get repeated. Symbolically, the idea of archetypal characters with attributes and archetypal sequences of functions that simply repeat and repeat in real life is expressed in the idea of the theatre. See our video, Theatres. The play with its script and characters is simply repeated over and over again. But each time a new person takes the part and thus provides a different interpretation, perhaps some ad-libbing, a change of scenery, maybe a change of dress. But the sequence and the ending is always the same. In other words, each archetypal script ensures things always play out the same way in response to an event. It would appear that history does repeat itself when the same conditions arise to trigger the function dependencies. It also appears to be the case that history repeats itself when the play is interrupted and not allowed to take its natural course from beginning to end. The system of the universe may be forced to pause, but it simply restarts once the cause of the pause has been removed. The archetypal roles. The archetypal script is acted out by archetypal roles, and these may be derived from a number of different sources. The tarot, like the Fool, the High Priestess, the Magician, the Queen or the Hanged Man. Chess, or they might be the character archetypes found in chess, the Queen, the King, the Pawn, the Knight, Castle, or the Bishop, Hierophant. Enneagram, or the character types found in the Enneagram. Pantomime, or the roles in pantomime. Carl Gustav Jung, who was particularly fascinated by this area, started to build a list of them. He included the child, the victim, the mother, and the father. The hero is an exceptionally well-known archetype, and The Hero with 1,000 Faces is a work of comparative mythology by Joseph Campbell, in which the author discusses his theory of the mythological structure of the journey of the archetypal hero, found in world myths. Many shamanic and indigenous societies had archetypal animals and birds playing out the roles, as did mystic groups. The Parliament or Conference of the Birds, for example, is a Persian poem by Sufi poet Farid ud-Din Attar of Nishapur, which describes the spiritual path using bird archetypes as the roles. Scripts where the lines are almost already written. These scripts are often described in myths and stories. The same underlying script or sequence gets played out, but perhaps the setting is different or the time period. For this to happen, certain character types then have to get involved. The hero, the villain, the hero's lover, in order for the archetypal story to play out. In one place a villain may be needed, in another a trickster, then a great number of pawns, followed by a queen. We see this in works of fiction. The characters seem to conform to certain types and appear in just about every story. They are there in every play, and their modern counterpart, films or TV. And just like the script of a play, in which characters play a part, there are walk-on parts, and there are major roles. All the World's a Stage by William Shakespeare, from As You Like It. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. The horoscope and archetypal astrology. There is a branch of astrology that looks at these preformed archetypes, and it is called archetypal astrology. More astrologers concentrate on the character side than the function archetype side. But this is beginning to change. Functional archetypes, if one is successful at recognizing that a functional archetype is being played out, one is, in effect, able to prophesy. And of course, if you are able to prophesy, you are a prophet and a seer, and thus greatly respected. But there are potentially millions of functional archetypes, meaning that this is a task requiring considerable analytical ability. Entity archetypes, attributes both positive and negative, are described by the symbolic planets and signs of the Zodiac. As such, archetypal characters are built up by selecting the attributes they have. The symbolic signs and planets are like a storehouse of contrasting attributes. Astrologers use the word shadow attributes, from which specific ones are selected to create a character. A person's horoscope is thus describing which functional archetypes and which particular attributes they will be using at each stage, and this is Salvador Dali's natal chart. Overall, it gives an idea of how their life is going to pan out, but only as an archetype, a pattern. The actual events only occur as the person lives from day to day. Each person lives their own myth and enacts their horoscope.